एको देवो सर्वभूतेषु गूढ़ः सर्वव्यापी सर्वभूति अंतरात्मा कर्माध्यक्षम केवलम सर्वांतर्यामी साक्षी चेता केवलम निर्गुणश्च.
I am one Indian monk, age, very little age. Only 7 minutes left for 100 years. That means 93 years old. I roamed all over the world due to the permission of the Babaji. He appeared before me and he said in details that you are realized Indian monk, so you should go all over the world and spread Kriya Yoga. I spread Kriya Yoga all over the world.
Jai Gurudev, this is the year 2014 and we are celebrating 40th year of Baba Hariharanandaji, Gurudev leaving India and coming to the West. 1974, he went to Europe first.
It was in May, beginning of May 74, that I met my master, Baba Hariharananda, in Kara Ashram in Puri. I was in Calcutta and my money was getting kind of low, but I've saved money in Holland. So I told my bank in Holland, please transfer the money to the bank in Calcutta, and so that I could collect it and then I could continue my journey. I told them that I will go to Puri because I've heard Puri is a very spiritual place and sea beach has attracted me. So I thought I go to Puri and then keep contact with the bank, and then when the money is coming, I will go to fetch it. And I was very happy there and spending my days, but of course then the money was getting lower and lower. Although the room was very cheap, I paid 1 rupee a night. But even that money I didn't have after some time, so then it was finished, so I had to leave the room. And then I started sleeping on the beach, which was also quite nice. The weather was good, so it was not a punishment. It was very nice to sleep on the beach and under the stars, so enjoy that. So that was good. But then after a few days, I was getting a little bit more appetite and hunger, and I thought how to manage with that. Then one day I met an American. I asked him on the beach, I said, I haven't eaten for 2 days, can you help me? And he said, yes, we go to the restaurant. And then we started talking, he gave me some nice food. And then he said, I'm staying nearby. It's only a few hundred meters from here. I'm staying in ashram, and the Swami is very nice, and you should meet him. And then I said, okay, I'll come with you. And I went with him to the ashram, and then I met Baba Hariharananda. He heard the story, that they had no place to stay, and that they had no money. Then he said, you stay here in the ashram, you get a room, you can stay there as long as you like, you take your food here, and tomorrow morning at 6 o'clock, come to the ashram, and then go to the meditation room, and I'll initiate you into Kriya Yoga. I was quite amazed. somebody who didn't know me at all, just give me a place to stay, give me food, and give me initiation. Then after 1 month, in the beginning of June, Baba Hariharananda left Karashram. For the first time, he went to the West. And so he left, and he said to me, you stay in the ashram, you can continue your meditation here, and I will go now because I will have some programs. They invite me to go to Germany and to Switzerland to do programs, so I will go there, but you can stay here as long as you like to continue your meditation. He did programs in near Köln, in Gummersbach. There was Fritz Baba. He organized the first program in Köln, and there was also a program in Switzerland near Zurich. The exact place I don't know, but it was near Zurich, in St. Gallen, I think. And programs were there, and so that were the first programs of Baba in the West.
It is a privilege for us to enjoy the places divine like anything.
Oh, you give it to me, it is too heavy.
If we can meditate very nicely. Yes, God has given our hunger, give us hunger, we are fortunate, and also the food in the form of the power of God is just in our front, so we are happy. We are not eating, a dead man cannot eat, only we are feeding God to fulfill, not my desire, to fulfill His desire. Because it was His desire that He will be many. He has descended from the heaven and He said that I will be many and we all will remain together and will enjoy nicely the whole countryside, the whole world is the power of God. And the whole
The first grounds in Europe that he touched was the grounds of France in Paris. There were apparently no direct flights to Switzerland, or maybe it was too costly. Anyway, Baba took the Air France flight from Calcutta to Paris. And so he was on the plane, and at that time, in the early 70s, people were not so familiar with Indian monks. So he looked very exotic, and of course he had his very calm and wise and realized radiation. And people gathered around him in the plane, and they wanted to know, who is this person? And Baba started to talk about divinity, God realization. And so they asked him things like, why do you have a dot inside the eyes? So Baba would explain that he would always seek the soul inside and things like that. And so many people came to him that at some point the captain sensed that the airplane is out of balance. So the captain made an announcement in the airplane, and that, well, we have an Indian monk here, and many people want to see him, but if you all stand around him, then the plane is running a risk, and you should go all back to your places. If you want to speak to this person, then you can come one by one and not all together. So this announcement was made, and anyway, they landed in Paris. He was looking where to go, and a taxi driver came to him, and he was also interested in Baba, and asked him whether he would allow the taxi driver to make a tour through Paris. And so the taxi driver showed him everything, all the beautiful places in Paris, and the beautiful Arc de Triomphe and the Place Charles de Gaulle and like that. And so that experience Baba recalled many times, at least to me, especially the places where you have the circle or round point, where many big avenues merge into that circular driveway. He was telling that all these ways that people go, they merge in one round circular. Of course, everything was a bit metaphorical, what he was telling.
Par le monde matériel,
Meditate
mais en méditant
and avoid your all prejudice,
et éviter tous les préjudices qui vous sont faits,
emotion,
l'émotion,
hallucination,
les hallucinations,
suggestion,
la suggestion,
speculation,
les spéculations.
that will not lead you to God.
Tout cela ne vous amènera pas à Dieu.
The formless cannot be perceived by the five sense organs.
Car l'état sans forme ne peut être perçu par les 5 organes des sens.
It can be only perceived by the soul.
Il ne peut être perçu que par l'âme
The
humaine.
dead one has the five sense organs, eyes, ears, nose,
Car
mouth,
un homme qui est
skin.
mort a pourtant les 5 organes des sens,
They cannot perceive anything.
mais ils ne peuvent percevoir.
By the help of these five organs, you have to watch God
Par ces 5 organes des sens, nous devons observer Dieu
and remain detached and practice it.
et rester détachés et pratiquer.
Until you go there to the wisdom
Aussi
place.
longtemps que vous n'allez pas à l'endroit où se trouve la sagesse,
My name is Jos Ide. I am from Belgium. Between 1974 and 86, almost every year, sometimes 2 years in between, he came to Belgium for programs in several places. He came to Ghent, he came to Mechelen, Antwerp. So in 3-4 places he gave lectures in Belgium. He always stayed in my house for a week, fortnight, it depends. The initiations were in my house and the meditations were in my house. When I came back from my work in the evening at 5 o'clock, as soon as I entered the door, opened the door, it was like being in paradise. So there was a divine atmosphere in my house, peace everywhere. While taking breakfast, he was always talking and instructing. It was very agreeable to be with Baba when he took breakfast. Then he took his meal at noon, which was prepared by some people who had, from Germany or from Holland, who had accompanied him. The whole time people came in my house to talk to Baba, to be instructed by Baba. He gave meditation in the afternoon, he gave meditation in the evening. There was always people in my house, full of people, no problem. But it was paradise.
The old memory has come to me. I have no green card, no visa. I started from Belgium by the boat. I crossed the English Channel and reached in London. Many people they are showing their passport. So I am also standing. I saw one person who is always looking at me, always looking at me. So I got to his line. And all the persons are coming in the front, I allowed them to go first. Because I have no visa, nothing. Then he said, "Where is your visa?" I said, "You are my visa." Then he said, "What happened?" I said, "You see the passport." He saw the passport, there is no visa. He said, "What happened?" I said, "British people, they rule India. I am Indian. I have come here. I have the desire to stay in London only for 7 days. Will you kindly allow me that I will go to see the King's Palace, Buckingham Palace, and the Broad Road where Vivekananda was there. Only for 7 days visa, will you kindly give me?" He said, "Thank you very much, you come with me." He entered the office and he talked with me and he was very happy. At last he gave me a 3 months visa in London. I reached there.
Why I have come here? It was the desire of our 4 gurus, that true message of Lahari Baba, Babaji Maharaj, Sri Yukta Ji will spread all over the world. It is a scientific technique. It gives simultaneous development of body, mind and soul. So it was their desire that I come in the West and spread the message. The simplest technique, the easiest technique, the surest technique, where there is no dogmatic views, no fanatic ideas, no question of caste and creed. According to your love for God, you will accept that God and you will meditate, and after that you will get God realization.
1974, he went to Europe first. And in 1975 was the first time he came to the North and South America.
My name is Adriana Silva, and I had the fortune of meeting Swami Hariharananda in Bogota, Colombia, on his first visit. They had stopped in Curacao before touching Bogota. Somebody mentioned that a very famous yogi, a very beautiful yogi was coming and he was going to give initiations. Arriving on Friday, we met him, and it was amazing, the crowd of people that were outside. The children were running all over the place when we arrived, and they were very happy. They told us that Swamiji was there. There were at least 120 people. There at least, the line was going out of the home. I mean, people were standing out in the street. I know there were cameramen, and this was a big happening in Colombia. And I think there was a big article in the newspaper, if I remember rightly. And people just wanted to see him and touch him and touch his feet. And we were at the bottom of the stairs waiting in line. And he appeared at the top of the stairs, and he was amazing. He was dressed in his orange tunic. He was wearing his little round glasses, and he had long, I guess, black hair. He gave us a big smile, and he was he said in very good English, actually, that he was very happy to meet us, and he wanted that we took the initiation, that it was a very auspicious moment. And I think that I had like a experience where I was kind of out of time in his presence. And my sister said the same, that she felt like we were floating. And we just wanted to return the next day and the next day while he was there. Everything is a long time ago, but I still remember his magnificent demeanor with us.
Hariharananda has come from India, from the long distance. It is a privilege for you all to see him and to hear something from him. You all cannot go in India and cannot sit by his side to hear the talk. A day will come, surely, when you will surely go to him and you will get the message of Kriya Yoga, and you will be able to get the divine vibration in the whole body and in the whole universe. By saying this, I am again bowing God the Father, God the Son, and God the Holy Ghost, and even to my all Gurus, even to you all those who are present here. Hari Om Tat Sat.
I'm sure his presence in Colombia came at a very exact moment. There was a lot of turmoil, political and just a lot of unrest at that time, and I think he brought peace for us who met him. I think he brought more of the spiritual current into our country, and I see that our people, my country people, are very devotional. They have a lot of mystic, and maybe he recognized this, and that's why he came to our country to give us this possibility to develop it.
The group of devotees from Kriya Yoga who had gone there to India to bring Baba here. There was one person from South America, Bogota, Colombia. First he took Gurudev to Bogota, Colombia. He spent some time there, he went to Curacao, and then Baba Hariharanandaji went to New York.
It happened to be my birthday, June 17th, 1975. He walked into my life. And the first thing he did, he went over to a close disciple, and he put his hands over his eyes, and he played a child's game with him. This man was full of humor, but he was also full of incredible knowledge and wisdom.
I saw him as a divine being floating into the room. He was walking extremely straight, regal, divine. He carried the presence of God in and around him, and I was elated to see that. He sat down in silence and looked around the room in complete silence, spending a few moments looking sincerely in everyone's face. And if he couldn't see someone's face clearly, then he made a motion with his hand this way or that way for them to move so he could see them. And you could feel him connecting with each and every person in that room, acknowledging each one as an individual and making a heartfelt connection with each one. And all this was done in silence.
In one sentence, I'm going to complete the whole Gita. Do you follow me? With the knowledge body, if you can control your evil bodies, million soldiers, external, by the help of Lord God, who is remaining in the kingdom of heaven, he is invisible. Lord Krishna is not visible.
At that time, he was here a lot in New York. He was always working really, really hard on each student to make sure you got it, and he would always take care of you, like a mother, like a father. He would always tell you to get this looked at. You're having pain here, and it would go away. He was always like that.
He was amazing. He was everything that was in your mind. I had 3 little questions written on a very small piece of paper. I was sitting way across the room from him. There's no way he could see them. He turned towards someone else, and he answered my 3 little questions when I was talking to him.
You would go to meditation, and you would have questions. And by the end of meditation, all your questions had been answered. You hadn't asked, but all the questions were answered.
And he would spend maybe 2 or 3 weeks in New York, and then he'd travel to another city, and then back to New York, and then to another city, and then back to New York. So we saw quite a bit of him throughout his time frame in the US every summer. He would typically arrive at the beginning of the summer and then leave the first week of October.
1 ounce of practice is worth tons of theories. So, sit 5 minutes, 10 minutes, this is scientific technique. Breath, only breath, oxygen.
He loved New York City.
He loved New York.
He would say it's incredible to meditate in New York City because the energy, the power, the feeling of everything, of all the people's thoughts and vibrations, and still to meditate and focus and be one with the loving energy of God was absolutely incredible.
And he would insist that all the visitors go to the Empire State Building and to the World Trade Center. And he loved the intensity of New York, and he loved the way all the buildings were close together and drew people together, and the energy in New York. He had no problem with the noise. He would stay in Mark Sclafani's apartment for many years on 3rd Avenue. He would sleep in the bedroom, which had the windows right on 3rd Avenue. So you can imagine the level of noise and no air conditioning. And it was no problem for him to sleep there, not at all. And he said one time he had a gentleman visiting from India, and they were sharing the bedroom. And in the morning, the Indian gentleman awoke and said, "Oh, I didn't get a moment's sleep during the night. That noise, all those cars and horns, and I couldn't sleep at all. How did you sleep?" And Baba said, "No problem. Just go there, close, gone." He showed us how he could live such a simple life and be so happy and so elegant, particularly in that moment in time.
Restless is your heart. Till it rests on God. Until it rests on God. If you rest on God, then your restlessness will disappear. This is Kriya Yoga.
And at some point, I went out to my screen porch to the front door, and I said to the universe, okay, I'm ready for a teacher. And Swamiji was standing on that porch a week later. I was at the point where I just thought, hey, universe, if you can help me out here, I'd sure like somebody who's authentic, and boy, did I hit the jackpot on that. I saw a poster on Park Avenue in Winter Park, and I was just walking down the street, and I saw him. I said, oh, I'll check this out. And he was giving a lecture at Rollins College, at the chapel, the Knowles Chapel at Rollins. So I went to see the lecture. I said, I like this guy. Must have been his second trip to Central Florida. He was doing initiations in April, I think, of 78. In, I guess, November of 78, right after I was initiated, he said, well, let's go ahead and get an ashram here, and let's find a house.
I think I came to Arlington in 78, and then he had always wanted a place in Florida, so another resident and I were sent to start a place in Orlando, or to get a place going so he would have a place to come during the winter. And I remember that was the winter of 78, 79.
It was really magical to have an ashram and to meditate at least twice a day, and to have people that were really into it.
He was busy from the moment he woke up until he went to bed, maybe 10 or 11 at night. He would wear us out. We'd be, I need a nap in the afternoon. And he would be answering correspondence, or I remember his saying, because he said it so much, you probably heard it too, but he used to say, it is a privilege on your part to be busy every moment, because everything is done by you, by the power of God. And he was always, his whole life was helping people.
Kriya Yoga will give you, it is a nature's law that you will dance. And you watch who is dancing. You sing, and you watch who is singing. Then you'll get peace, bliss, joy. Thank you.
He's extremely robust in those days. Tremendous energy and great physical form, and funny.
I remember once there was a young woman there, and I was working with her while Swamiji was helping someone else. And boy, she got it. I mean, I touched her head and I could feel it in my fingertips. I mean, and she, whole spine sensation. And she was a little bit disconcerted about it, or, I guess didn't, and, she was trying to, wow, and so she asked Swamiji, she goes, well, how long will it last? Because I think, it was kind of disorienting to her. And I think she was a little concerned, actually. And so she said, well, how long will it last? And of course, he thought it was great news. And he goes, your whole life. And I think she was like, yeah, kind of like, I got to drive home, or something. But, what a sense of humor he had. He used to just keep us in stitches.
Foreign master, they will only oblige. You come to me, he will dance and love and do everything. He will mix with the girls and dance, and he will get God. They will talk according to their mind. They will see, but we will teach that what do you want, how you will get the truth. I don't say that you will not dance. You dance and watch the power of God.
And so many stories, about his legal troubles in India, and they take him to court, and says the case came before the chief magistrate, and he turned and smiled. He is my disciple. Or they'd say, we're going to call the chief of police, and he said, go ahead, and he'd stop and say, he is my disciple. He was so unusual.
my wife and I just, we just loved him. I mean, how could you not, right? He ended up staying with us, and he was just like part of the family. When my son was born in September 79, I mean, every time he would come, they would hang out together and just play and everything else. Baba was very much into growing things. And in Florida, Central Florida was great because there were so many flowers, and we had a huge garden. So they'd walk together in the garden. And the peas were so high that you'd have to, my son, we carry him on our shoulders and he'd pick peas and stuff like that. So we'd just hang out in the garden, and he'd talk to him about plants and flowers and stuff like that.
Always so generous. Yeah. Always giving.
He was a magnificent teacher, absolutely, but he's a really good guy.
Swamiji comes to Edmonton, 1979. Swamiji is coming to Edmonton? To our house? Oh my gosh, we have to prepare. Prepare what? What kind of food does he eat? What is his routine? When does he sleep, eat, meditate, lecture? What are we going to do? Shortly after Swamiji's arrival in Edmonton, Gail Ma, that's what Swamiji affectionately calls Gail, Gail arranges for him to speak to a large crowd at the Orange Hall on the south side of Edmonton and records the night's lecture. From there, people are invited to come to the Ralt household for nightly lectures and Swamiji's hands-on teaching and technique of Kriya Yoga. And Swamiji is a hands-on teacher, whacking your back to get you to sit up straight and touching you with his hands to get you to feel the energy moving in your spine. Weeks go by with Swamiji in our home. Every day is full of light, love, and laughter. Such joy as I've only felt with him fill our waking hours. Swamiji has instructed us to talk little in the morning, revering silence as holiness. But he proceeds to yak away the early morning hours talking about everything and teasing Gail Ma and anyone else who's there with him. In a very personal way, we are living and sharing a life with this divine master. Gail and I moved the kids and ourselves to Vancouver later in 1979, and Swamiji came to visit us there as well. Gail and I moved the family back to Edmonton early in 1980, and Swamiji came again to teach and initiate. We were now living in a house in the River Valley neighborhood of Riverdale. Once again, our lives were filled with the divine spirit of Swamiji, and joy and laughter filled our home. He used to tell us when he was in Seoul, nothing bothered him, and rest and sleep were unnecessary in that state. Still, he looked tired some days, and we fought to protect his time and health. Well, in too little time, seemed like a heartbeat, Swamiji again flew away to America. Little did I know that would be the last time I looked upon that funny, beautiful face and felt his touch on me. As I write the memoir of his visits with us, a deep love for him engulfs me and a deep sadness at never having been with him again. He lives in my heart, my soul, and my daily meditations. Still, I miss him terribly.
We had a deepest desire for Gurudev to visit Washington area, and then somehow the arrangement was made, and Baba came to Washington after completing the program there, part of the program in New York. It was such a spiritual feast for Baba to visit Washington area. Baba was there for 3 weeks, and 3 weeks we did not know how quickly they went by. So many enthusiastic Kriyavans decided that we should rent a place and establish the first ashram in Washington, D.C. And then in 1977 was the first time Baba came to an official Kriya Yoga ashram in this country. Baba stayed there for several months.
If you only remain, take little breath here, then you will get the balanced breath.
that power of God is abiding. Your whole system will be calm and quiet. You touch your finger on the nose and you see that it is warm breath is coming.
I moved into the ashram in Arlington in 78. There were 5 of us who were there for quite some time, and then a couple people came and went, and then a local group, that pretty much came every day, at least for meditation. I remember once we were sitting at our dining table in Arlington. One of the other people who lived in the ashram asked Swamiji where the pineal gland was. And he closed his eyes and started to describe it, and he was going out. I mean, and this was when he was under doctor's orders not to go into samadhi, right? And the person who had asked him said, "Baba, don't do it. Don't do it." And he opened his eyes and they were just, wow, I mean, swimming with light. And he had a big smile and he said, "Dangerous gland. Dangerous gland."
You can come to me, you can see what is breath control. No warm breath. Come to me. Stand here, facing this side. Keep your hand here, near my nose.
The first time Baba came for a long period of time in Washington area was in 1979, which was in Silver Spring, Maryland. This was in our house, Kodolika residence, and we were so blessed because Baba lived there for 6 months. It was a beautiful, beautiful experience, and this was the place where Gurudev wrote his commentary on Bhagavad Gita, the first book, first 6 chapters. That was an astounding experience.
So my talk is gone. Breathless means deathless, dead person, and I'm touching him, and he's getting the same power. I told you are thinking it is bad, I am touching his heart. You feel that my power is going in his heart, and he is feeling vibration in the heart. Feeling it? The same vibration in the intestine. Feeling it? Same vibration, the penis. The power of God is there, everywhere.
Many memories of Baba going to various schools and giving very interesting discourses. At one time in Columbia, Maryland, we had rented a huge house. However, there were only 3 people who had come. I'm so ashamed to say that. But just to show Gurudev's greatness, I asked Gurudev, "Baba, should we move into a smaller room?" He said, "No, no matter. Just those 3 people, new people." And Baba gave such a heartwarming discourse on Kriya Yoga. This is a realized master. Baba, we miss you. I know you told us that after I leave this physical body, I will be more with you and I will be guiding you more. Thank you very much. Thank you for that assurance. Thank you for those blessings. Thank you for that guidance. I bow to you 1,000 times.
So, the thing which has entered to your brain, you will get chance to judge once, not now. Now you can judge. Even one day the time will come when we'll feel, yes, Swami Hariharananda came. He said the truth, the essence of religion. That invisible is there, we have to go to the invisible place. The invisible is invisible. Then they will get it. I am going to finish it here with chanting. Tumi bandhu, tumi nath, nishidin tumi amar. Tumi shuk, tumi shanti, tumi he amrito pathar. Thou art my friend, thou art Lord, whole day and night thou art mine. Thou art happiness, thou art peace, thou art my liberation. Thou art my friend, thou art Lord, whole day and night thou art mine. Thou art happiness, thou art peace, thou art my liberation. Tumi bandhu, tumi nath, nishidin tumi amar. Tumi shuk, tumi shanti, tumi he amrito pathar. So may I leave now? Thank you very much.